There are nights in sports when everything changes in a heartbeat, when the roar of the crowd turns into the hush of uncertainty, and when a single fall sends shockwaves through a league. Tuesday night in New York was supposed to be another chapter in A'ja Wilson's reign. Another showcase. Another war between titans. The Las Vegas Aces versus the New York Liberty. MVP versus MVP. Power versus finesse. But instead, it became something else, a moment of collective breath-holding across arenas, living rooms, and locker rooms everywhere. A'ja Wilson, the indomitable force, the heart of Las Vegas basketball, the three-time WNBA MVP, fell. And for a moment, so did the rhythm of the game. The air inside Barclays Center shifted. Time seemed to pause. A player so often in control, so often dictating the pace, the emotion, the outcome, was suddenly flat on her back. Her wrist bent. Her shoulder jarred. Her teammates rushed toward her with urgency and fear in their eyes. The towels came quickly, shielding her from cameras. But nothing could hide the reality. This was pain. It happened in the second quarter, with 4:13 left on the clock. The Aces were trailing 33-30. Wilson, driving hard to the rim, was fouled by Leonie Fibic, a routine play, one that's happened 1,000 times in 1,000 games. But this time, the landing wasn't routine. This time, her body hit the hardwood in a way that made everyone stop. She braced herself instinctively with her wrists. But the force, the angle, it didn't look right. The silence in the crowd spoke louder than any whistle. Yet even in that pain, even as the trainers huddled around her, A'ja stood up. Not just physically, she stood up symbolically. Because that's what she's always done. Injured, shaken, hurting, she walked to the free throw line and sank both shots. As if to say, I'm still here. As if to remind everyone that champions don't disappear quietly. She stayed on the floor briefly, even pulled down a rebound. But her body was saying what her mind couldn't, I'm not okay. And with 2:22 left in the second quarter, Becky Hammon made the call. She pulled her star, not for strategy, for safety, for preservation, for the long season ahead. Then came halftime. Then came the news. Ruled out. Right wrist injury. It was official. It was real. And it carried weight. She returned to the bench in the third quarter, a brace wrapped around her wrist, a visual that hit like a punch to the gut. A'ja Wilson, sitting, watching, unable to change the flow of the game with her usual magic. Her presence on the bench offered comfort, but it also offered reality. She wasn't coming back tonight. And maybe not tomorrow either. Injuries in sports are inevitable. But with certain players, they hit different. Because A'ja isn't just an MVP on paper, she's the motor that runs the Aces. She's the voice in the huddle, the fire in the locker room, the soul on the court. Her absence isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It changes everything. This moment, this injury, this fall, it will linger. Not because the Aces can't survive without her. But because basketball, without her, simply feels less electric. Less thunderous. Less alive. And yet, this is also part of greatness. Not just the rise, but the resilience. Not just the glory, but the grit. A'ja Wilson has built her career on power and precision, but also on heart. On showing up. On coming back stronger. And this moment will be no different. The league watched in silence. The fans flooded social media with prayers. Her teammates adjusted on the fly. And Wilson, ever the leader, sat with her team on the bench, not pouting, not withdrawing, but supporting. Coaching. Encouraging. Being present. Because presence isn't just about minutes played, it's about impact. And even with a brace on her wrist, even in street clothes, A'ja Wilson continues to impact the game. Her voice carries weight. Her legacy stretches far beyond a single night. Still, the WNBA holds its breath. How serious is the injury? Will she miss games? How long will the Aces be without their cornerstone? We don't know yet. But what we do know is this: she will fight. She will recover. She will return. Because that's who A'ja Wilson is. She is not just a player. She is a movement. She is a moment, every time she steps on the court. And even in pain, even in silence, she reminds us all why we watch, why we believe, and why basketball is more than just a game. It's about perseverance. It's about the human spirit. It's about those moments when the lights dim, and yet someone still shines. That's A'ja. That's the story. And it's far from over.